Welcome to Brad Goes Back to Art School. This week I'm going to be talking about figure drawing. Now I've drawn a lot of cartoon characters and I'm used to using the stick figure method that works a little bit like this. I usually kind of figure out, okay, maybe my back is arched a little bit, and then I have a stick here, and then some legs and arms coming off that stick, and then the head. And none of it is really proportional or anything, but it makes for fun little cartoons, and it works pretty well as a base for me to start drawing. But this isn't really a realistic way to draw a figure. And one of the first things that's covered in real art school, at least from what I've been told, is how to draw from life, how to look at a still life and draw a figure from that. So that's what I'm going to be studying now. Is I'm going to try to throw away some of the things that I've picked up and some of the habits I've picked up from cartooning as I start to try to draw more realistically. So let me go ahead and create a new layer here. And then let's jump over to the worldwide interweb. The first thing I want is I want a reference to draw from. And if you do a Google image search, or here I'm on Pinterest or anywhere, it's really easy to find poses of people. Now, most of these probably aren't licensed to use in a video like this, but I'm gonna cross my fingers because all I really need this for is practice. This isn't going to be a realistic looking drawing. It's just something I need. So I'm gonna go ahead and take one of these pictures that has a bunch of different simple poses on it, and we're gonna start to break this down and figure out how to break apart some of these poses. I'm gonna go back to my program, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paste in this image I just copied. There we go. Now I can just move this around anywhere I want it. I'm just going to move it off to the side so I can use it as reference. Actually, while I'm here, I'm going to just increase the size so it's a little easier for me to see on my screen. There we go. Now I can start drawing. Now, I had the chance to watch several other videos that people made, and some of them were really helpful, and some of the tips I found to be a little bit over my head as I was trying to teach this stuff to myself. So here's 3 that I would recommend. The first one is to how to start a figure drawing, and the channel is Love Life Drawing, and I'm going to link all of these down below in the description. The next one is a video by Proco, how to draw a gesture step by step. And the third video I'd recommend is by Circa, which is how to draw interesting poses. Now, one of the things that I ran into is that when I was watching a lot of these videos is that they just started drawing, and I wanted to say, whoa, 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 slow down. What is your process here? I felt like a lot of these videos were starting at a slightly higher level than I wanted to start at. So I've been trying to deconstruct that and figure out, if I took a step further back than where they were starting, where would I start? And I still like the idea of finding those basic lines. And I have seen videos that have different ways of doing figure drawing, so there's no right or wrong way. This is how I broke it down so that I could understand it and I could start working with it. So the first thing I'm looking at is I'm sketching over these people. For example, this is a straight line here. The hips have a straight line. We have a straight line right there. It's kind of hard to see. And then we have our legs. But I'm going to move over to this third model over here. And we see here we have an angled line. Let me change my color to red so it's easier to see. We have an angle line there. And the hips kind of come in at a different angle. And then we have our arm is bent. This arm is going straight down. And this is a little bit of a curve. And then we have our head up here, so I'm going to put an oval for that. And then our legs, going to get the leg 1 there, leg 2 here. And this leg is almost completely straight up and down. So by jumping in and overdrawing on some of the poses, that has really helped me out. So now I can come in here and I can say, okay, there's a line from that angle, a line on this angle. The curve is just slight. And that's something from cartooning that I tend to over exaggerate, and then the leg kind of comes here. So what I'm doing is I'm tracing, and then I'm trying to recreate what I traced. And then I could come in here and say, okay, well, how is the shape of the body? This is kind of arching up, kind of like that. That leg is right there. And what I'm trying to do here is not be super realistic, but just kind of capture that pose. I think this leg actually has to come in a little bit more, and then this arm comes down. And what this is helping me do is seeing, like the hand is down here. It's further down than I expected it to. This hand over here, it's a little higher up because that arm is bent. And so I could get that arm in there And then we could go ahead and I'll try, I think I made the head too big because I'm used to drawing bigger heads. And then I'll try to kind of put the head shape in here. And so this is what I've been practicing, is every day I've been going online, finding some of these model sheets, and I've started to practice some of my sketching. So I'm going to move this up. First I'll turn off that layer. I'll go to the second layer and we're going to move this up, get that moved up a little bit so I can see my next group of poses. Going to go ahead and close that. Going to go ahead and create a brand new layer. Back to my pencil tool, and now I can look at some of these other poses. For example, this one over here has a straighter line back, and the hips are straight there, and the shoulder is turned up there, and then we have kind of a straight line for that leg and a straight line for that leg. This one is much more curved. We have a little bit of a slant there, a little bit of a slant there, and then obviously the arms going across. That'll be a fun one to draw. Get the head in there, and then the leg going this way, and this leg crosses over. This is a cool one because it's a confident pose. You can see there's a little bit of arc here, and there's an angle there, and there's another angle there. We'll get that arm and that leg is shooting out like that. Very confident, poised stand there. And so after I get some tracing in, I just go in ahead and I say, okay, let's do that first one over there. This person is on an angle. These lines are pretty straight. And then I can get the legs in just like that. And then where's that arm? That arm is coming straight down and going over. So let me rough in the body a little bit, kind of like that. And the purpose here is to just capture the form as quickly as possible and not worry about the realism of it. That could come later. We can get all of that in when we need to. But for now, I just want to grab that sketch. And I like that side arm, you're really only seeing the hand and a little bit of that arm. And then we're getting the head. The head is facing that way. So that's what I've been practicing over the last week, and this is what you should be practicing, is every day, go out, Google some images, find some figure model poses out there, and just try replicating them. Don't spend too long on it, and I will say this, your first couple takes at this are going to be horrible, but that's totally cool. That's how you learn, and that's the point of these exercises, is to make them bite-sized and small and digestible. This isn't something that I'm going to ever share on Instagram or anything like that. No one's ever going to be impressed by this. The only purpose here is to practice and learn. So that is your lesson for the next week or two. Go out, have fun, and find some cool stuff to draw.